given the number of deaths we've been seeing in recent days?
Well, based on the polls, I'm doing very well in Florida, and the local government is doing a fantastic job. I think we're doing really a fantastic job, and we're getting everything that they need. They've, for the most part, had it anyway. We had it all stocked up and stacked up, and you remember I used to say the cupboards were bare federally from the federal standpoint. We had very empty cupboards. Whether it was the military or the cupboards for medical, they were bare. And Ron, I think Ron and Rick would both say we've really supplied you with a lot, not only having to do with the medical and the COVID, but having to do with a lot more. In particular, some of the hurricanes, your time and your time. We had some really bad ones, and we came through. So the polls are looking very good. And I think when you see those crowds of people along the roads, there's a very good feeling.
But what about the number of deaths we've seen in recent days?
Well, I hate it anywhere, but if you look at other countries are doing terribly. This is a horrible disease. This is a disease that should have never happened. It's something never should have been allowed to get out of China, but it did. It came here, it went to Europe, it went all over the world. It's in 188 countries. And I will say this, proportionately, relatively, when you look at your nursing home situation, it's a tribute to your governor and government, the job they've done. You've done a really great job, and you have a very big nursing home population. You've done a fantastic job. So I think we're doing really well in Florida. Yeah.
Mr. President, you told Axios in an interview earlier this week that you did not bring up the intelligence assessment with Vladimir Putin, that they had been placing bounties on our soldiers' heads. You said it was because no one had brought it to your attention, but it wasn't your presidential daily briefing. Have you been reading that briefing every day?
I read it all the time. I see it all the time. It was never brought to my attention. I think it's another Russia hoax. They've been giving me the Russia hoax, Shifty Schiff, and all these characters from the day I got here. And we're working with Russia right now on a non-proliferation agreement, nuclear non-proliferation, and we can get something like that, it'd be great, but it was never brought to my attention, and because it didn't reach the level, there were a lot of people, including Democrats, that said it never took place. If it did take place, it would have been brought to my attention, and I would take very strong action. There's been nobody tougher with Russia or China than I have, not even by a long shot. When you look at what we've done compared to the past administrations, it's not even a contest. We've been very tough on Russia with the sanctions and so many other things, including letting people know that we're not so happy about what's going on with NATO and the oil. But speaking of NATO, we've raised $130 billion a year from countries, as you know, from our partners with NATO. 28 countries. We had 7 that were paid up. Now we have a very much bigger number. We're getting $130 billion more. That's going to $400 billion. And that's money to really protect themselves, for the most part, against Russia. So nobody's done more against Russia, but it was never brought to my attention, and it perhaps wasn't brought because I didn't consider it to be real. And if it is brought to my attention, I'll do something about it.
Mr. President, what's in your health care plan that's coming on Sunday?
Well, we're going to be doing a health care plan. We're going to be doing a very inclusive health care plan. I'll be signing it sometime very soon.
You said 2 weeks when you spoke.
It might be Sunday, but it's going to be very soon. We're also doing a full immigration plan. We're going to take care of a lot of things that for 25 years they've been trying to get an immigration plan. We're going to be doing merit-based immigration. I'm sure you'd be happy to hear that, but it's merit-based, very powerfully merit-based. It's going to be very inclusive. It's going to cover just about everything that most people would have said couldn't happen, and we'll be releasing that over the next couple of weeks. So we're doing a healthcare plan, we're doing a immigration plan, and we're doing another one that's very important, are the drugs, prescription drug prices. We pay the highest of any country in the world by far. You look at Germany and you look at UK and Canada and other countries, and they pay a fraction of what we pay. And we're doing a series of signatures, which I've done, and one goes into effect very soon. But we're doing matching grants and all sorts of things that are going to bring our drug prices down at levels that nobody ever thought possible. We're doing things that nobody ever thought possible. The bad news is the pharmaceutical companies aren't exactly in love with Donald Trump, and they'll advertise. They've already started it. I see they've already started. I've seen the ads. And anytime you see an ad from a pharmaceutical company against me, you know that means the drug prices are coming down. But they're going to be coming down to a level that nobody ever thought possible. We are, as an example, Germany has very low prices, and we have very high prices, many times the amount. And we're doing, we have to get, no matter what the price, lowest price in the world, that's what they have to give us. And right now we have by far the highest price in the world. We're going to allow states like Florida to go to Canada and to buy. Their prices are much lower than ours, so they're going to be able to buy directly from Canada rather than going through their traditional sources. And I think in the state of Florida, what will that cut the prescription drug prices?
Well, I mean, it depends on the drug, but there were some when we were doing the bill that you could get for 75% less in terms of what Canada would charge.
How about that? 75% less. So they're going to be buying it approximately 75% less. What we're doing really, which is the most, we're doing rebates, and the rebates are going to go to the people, and they're going to go in the form of drug reduction, drug price reduction. But we're doing something called favored nations, and nobody thought anybody would ever do that. But look, I want what's right for the people, and it's been very unfair. So favored nations, meaning if another nation's paying lower and another nation's paying even lower than that, we take the lowest nation in the world, and that's what we have to pay. Right now, we're paying many times the lowest nation in the world. You have some of these socialistic or social, well, I guess you could say socialistic nations, they have drugs at a low price. Well, we'll use that to our advantage because we're going to be getting the price that they have. Now, what's going to happen is their price will probably have to go up, and our price will go way down. And I could see 50, 60, 70%, maybe more than that, reduction in prices, and no other president will ever do that. And the heat I've taken in the last couple of weeks because of that is unbelievable. And frankly, the ads I've taken are unbelievable. It's sort of incredible. You see drug companies taking these massive
When
ads.
we did our bill, I've never seen more ads in Florida, but the pharmaceutical was doing. I mean, I have young kids. I'm watching like Paw Patrol with them, and it goes to commercial, and it's saying that Florida, they're going to bring in all these drugs from Djibouti that's going to kill everybody. So I mean, it was unbelievable how they papered the airwaves. A lot of money.
You'll be buying the same drug that you paid a fortune for half the price, maybe better than that even. And the exact same drug made maybe in the same factory, the same company, and you're going to be paying a fraction of the price. But the drug companies are not happy. And look, we want them to be happy. We want them to do well with the vaccines. We want them to do well with everything. But they've made a fortune, and that's why they can afford the ads, that's for sure. So when you see ads against us, and me in particular, because I'm the one that's, I've signed 4 acts, we'll call it executive orders, and they're the most powerful ever signed in this industry by a factor of about 20. And it's going to bring your drug prices down to a level that you've never seen before. So I'm very happy about that. The drug companies don't contribute to my campaign. I don't need their money. I haven't asked for their money. And if they did, it wouldn't matter to me anyway. But I am not somebody that's reliant on the drug companies. And we call it Big Pharma. Big Pharma is probably the most powerful lobbyist of any lobbyist there is, probably. I don't know. Maybe the lawyer's lobby is pretty powerful, too. But Big Pharma would be just about up there. And we have to do what's right. They've been talking about reducing drug prices ever since I can remember, ever since I've been starting to really watch politics with interest, which was actually at a very young age. But we've been talking about drug price reductions and prescription drug reductions. And I will tell you, you're going to see the biggest reductions in the history of our country by many times. We're not talking about a 1%. And as you know, last year, for the first time in 51 years, drug prices went down. But marginally, but they went down. First time in 51 years. So I was president, and drug prices went down first time in 51 years. Now you're going to see numbers that you wouldn't even believe, and it's going to be fair. It's not fair that other countries pay a fraction of, but I mean a fraction of what we do. We pay all research and development and promotional costs and everything. It's put onto the United States. They pay nothing, nothing. And then on top of it, they say, this is what we'll pay and this is what it is. And the United States will pay the remainder of the difference. I mean, this is the way they buy. They go and, I won't mention names of countries, but they say, this is what we're going to pay. The United States will make up the difference. And that's not going to happen anymore. Okay, thank you all very much. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. We also had a huge win on drug prices. Are you up for election this year?
All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining us here at Golden State Times. If you guys missed the video, or the speech, we're uploading it onto the channel right now. So if you're watching this while it's uploaded, make sure you share it on social media and also click the thumbs up button and let us know what you guys think in the comments section below. Thank you so much for choosing Golden State Times as your news source. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and you click that notification bell. And also, if you want to get notified 100% of the time for future President Trump live streams, then all you have to do is text the word Trump Live to the number 555-888. Once again, text the word Trump Live to the number 555-888.